Hello, Reckoning7 and welcome back to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, where we rejoin at the end of the Battle of Cincinnati. So the end of the last episode, this was just about to kick off, and I mentioned I was going to play it off screen, and I have done, but I thought I'd bring you in just at this point. So we had our Army of the Tennessee, best part of 30,000 fine Confederates controlled by Longstreet, and they were being attacked by the Army of Mississippi, supported with a few thousand in the so-called, I think it's the Army of Kentucky. As you can see here, we had the defend of Crawford's Mill. The Union entered from the north. I set up a pretty strong defensive line, and fair credit to the AI, he went out of his way to go around it. So when they kind of came down to this point, he then cut across the country and spent time and effort to try and attack in via O'Connell to bypass most of my defences. I think I had another palisade down there. Or maybe not, maybe I didn't finish building it. Anyway, but when we still had reasonable positioning, we still had very good troops. You know, we have a competent general in myself, and you see we've pulled off a major victory. So we've still managed a casualty ratio of about 2 to 1. Let me just unpause this while we're talking. So certainly not as spectacular as the last engagement, where I think it was like 4 or 5 to 1. Oh, hello. But solid enemy, right? Okay, you guys to upgrade. One of you I'm going to have as a counter battery expert, which is one of these. This one? Yep. And then I'll put... Am I just going to be you on Grand Battery? Probably. You're not quite leveled up yet. Fine. Yes, their main kind of thrust came in here. We actually some really good work by Bagby here with his carbine. You see they're now level 3 unit experience. Kind of just laying down on the ground here, offering a lot of fire into Union troops, as well as Fry here, these Burnside, so a short range but a high rate of fire, you know, 9 rounds a minute, also doing some really good work into the side of the oncoming Federal units. You know, when they get close range, these things can do a lot of damage, so that's really helped kind of break those units, although as you can see, you know, he's paid a bit of a price for it. We now have a very experienced cavalry brigade, and we did outflank them slightly using the river here. Just to cause them maximum amount of pain. And then towards the end of the battle, we went a bit aggressive on the flank here. You still, as I say, how are you still in the fight? So change that. So 35 minutes left of the battle. We're just kind of in the mop-up phase. Just make sure everyone is happily engaging, because that's what we want. I'm also going to grab some skirmishers, because something I've found works very well is using your skirmishers to take out these detachments of it, especially the detachments where it's not even proper artillery people, and that saves you taking the higher casualties from sending a whole brigade, because we want them to leave the guns behind. I think they've left it already. Okay. You guys firing? Firing, good. I'd actually like you guys to attack them if you could, please. Perfect. Okay, let's kick some time forward. Let these last... Oh, there, some there. Good. Last few units break and run. And then we'll call that a day. Okay, so we got another couple of thousand in the end phases there. So what's that, about 2... maybe 2.5 casualty ratio. So respectable, if not spectacular. So, but the army is now getting up to... I can't remember how many we lost in the last battle, but they've lost quite a lot, yeah. So we were up 30,000, close to 30,000. They're now a bit less than that. I know they were over at 33, okay. But still, that's us down to below 30,000 now, so we'll have to watch that. They only had 15 guns. Wow, I actually outgunned them for once. But we still destroyed a third of their army. And it's going to go down as a major battle. Good, excellent. So let's jump back to the overworld map and see what our next plans are. So there we have it. We had only 1,500 killed, but we had now 2,000 captured. It's 9,000 more men out of service. We are building some new prison camps, but I will need to wait for them to finish. Ooh, officer loss report. Oddly enough, I don't remember seeing those before. Probably just me being blind. Right, those two have been taken care of. We are 1 day away, so that fort's about to finish, which is excellent. I'm a little worried that you're claiming to be out of supply. I mean, it's not the greatest, to be honest. That is a fair assessment. I don't want to build another supply depot because those things kind of just eat money. I would have... well, once these Union armies leave, I wonder if we'll then get supply through that port. Okay, the other thing... stats of our other armies. I don't think anyone else is ready to go. We are waiting on the Florida State Militia and getting their grips together. I'm probably also going to be play around with the Officer Corps a little bit. I think we need to make some changes, but for right now we are just kind of trying to rest and recover after our exuberances. I think the last time we were talking on the policies, and I got a good prompt to look at the Tariff Act, because not only well, it seems to be not only that it was allowed obviously tariffs of imports, which we should free up now with the blockade, but it allowed you to do some changes to your own internal tax rates as well. Although it doesn't say that in that text. But that's something we may look at. But I think I might do the bonds and things first. Seems we haven't quite broken the blockade yet, although we're doing a pretty good job of it. How is the Cumberland River Squadron doing? They're still... yeah, they're almost ready. They're almost ready. Once they're up to Amber, we'll probably send them out. Okay, those armies have departed. This, I don't understand why this is being classed as blockaded. Unless it just needs to be repaired. Occupy, maybe that's it. Infrastructure recently occupied and transport capacity is still recovering 62%. I think that's what the flamey thing means. Fine. Even if it doesn't, I will believe it. Okay, you're now yellow. I'm going to say that's good enough. Your job was to come up to this section of river and to blockade Evansville. Wrong one. Blockade, please. And that should be the entire river either in our control or being blockaded. Good. We can go up speed a little bit. Just keep an eye out for some Union movers. I think the next thing we're going to do is depends on which army's ready first, or if the fort's ready. Although we'll need to spend some time and days. There we go. Bring in some men. So we've got the construction complete of the fort. I don't want to see Mr. Longstreet. I would like to see the fort. So you've got all the provisions. Okay, you're slightly low on artillery ammunition. You've got good forage. I don't know why you're reporting as being... oh, it's just because you've got low artillery ammunition you're reporting that skull. Okay. Fine. Okay, we've got Evander Getty here. The Faceless Man. Well, we're going to give you a little bit more support. So we're going to get a couple of large artillery units. So these should be, what, 16 guns. I could probably just keep the 6-pounders for just now, to be honest. So that's kind of 32 guns. I might even go 3 because it's not a lot of men. Why don't we bring in one more of those under Getty? And then I would like to bring in just a little infantry. Probably not a full 3,000. Probably a... why? I'm confused. Oh, I'm going to pick state first. There we go. I'd like an infantry. Honestly, do I want a 225 or just a 1,500? Maybe even just 1,500, because we just need them to hold out long enough for us to get there with a supporting army. Don't want to waste a lot of money on this. And who have we got that's around about the 1,500 mark that would be ideal for this? You guys are frustratingly just under. Okay. Oh well, let's go South Carolina. Done. How long will it take to get here? 24 days, okay. That's quite a long time. Okay. But we might leave early if once the guns are in place. Although, how long are they going to take to get there? Because we don't want to leave last time and for the fort to instantly die. They did 25 days, 21 days, 25 days. Okay, it looks like we're here for 3 weeks before the Army of Tennessee is going to be fit to march out. But that's okay, they can rest, they can recuperate, get their disabled soldiers back up, hopefully. Yeah, they're feeling pretty good about life. 91% supplies. What we could even do is put some people on guard, which should defend your line of communications and your supply trains. I don't know how big an impact it has if the enemy's not, for example, raiding, but we'll give it a go and see if that makes any difference. Okay, you got a very small amount of ammo. We'll hold there. You'd like to think... It'd be interesting to know the exact kind of way the supply mechanics work, and I understand you need... Obviously, depots are... you know, where you store large volumes of goods, but there's obviously a train line and a port directly to this army. So you kind of think, well, actually, it's an easy place to draw supplies from when you're literally in a city. Right, you're blockading? Yeah, come on. Actually, are there any actual ports up here? Just bridges and things? There may not actually be any river ports for you to blockade. No, it doesn't look like even these are riverside towns, they may not actually have anything, which might mean you're not doing a whole lot of... very much. Okay. Oh, so I believe you have just left Hartford. Do I get it back? No, I'm going to have to go take Evansville. The question is, where are you going, Army of Tennessee? 24,000 men, that would certainly be another challenge for the Army of Tennessee, especially considering we are light on our artillery. Oh, and the Army of Cumberland. 23,000 men. So we're going to have 40-something thousand against our 30. Well, what we should do... maybe be a little bit preemptive around this, although our readiness is not great. But we need to march out and meet them taking out one-on-one. Haha! Too slow, Army of Tennessee. Too slow. Okay, so we're going up against the Army of Cumberland. We are going to have to be fairly cautious here. Because we're going to have to turn around and fight another battle almost straight away. So we have not had a battle on screen for a while, so why don't we give this one a bit of a go. So the Battle General has been kind to us once again. We have been given the task of defending Hart's Hill, and I think I am just going to take a very turtly defensive formation, and I'm more interested in force preservation than I am necessarily in inflicting mass casualties upon Union. Oh, that'll be a nice benefit. So I think we're going to go and spend my 26 engineering points to build a defensive position essentially just around the base of this hill, or just up the flanks of the hill, just so I can put my cannons on top so they can fire out, albeit with their limited ammunition. Now, knowing what the Federals love to do, where are they coming from? Here. I will have to be a fairly comprehensive defense, or else they'll just walk around it. But yeah, let me go set up and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've conducted a little octagon of dreams here. Actually, I don't even know if it's 8 sides, but it looks kind of octagon-y. Around Hart's Hill, like I said, this is a super turtly defense. But I know that if I had only put 3 sides in, then the AI would have probably, not necessarily, but would have potentially just walked all the way around my rear and pushed in there, which is a smart play. I have, however, used kind of earthworks in the most likely avenues of attack, and then I'm just on palisades at the back, which I haven't actually built yet. I'll need to get the men to build these after the battle starts, which is why they're orange. In fact, we just do that now. So a bit of work to do. I've taken Lee and Smith's divisions, who were the least used in the last battle, and I've put them at the most likely points of contact, because I want them to bear the brunt of this first attack to give Stuart's and Waitman's divisions a bit of a rest. And actually I've also kept my kind of cavalry outside a defensive circle so they can kind of harry the flanks as they are presented to us. So, nice little elevated position in the middle for my cannons, which means they can kind of get good fields of fire all around, albeit they're probably a little bit light on ammunition, I suspect. Yeah, and then also the idea being the Federals at some point have to pick an avenue of attack, and then I just use my kind of interior lines to reinforce with units from the side they're not attacking. So fairly straightforward, a little bit cheesy, especially considering that. See, this is where we've talked about this a lot, but I'll briefly mention again. Because I'm having to attack their army because I'm wanting to engage it before their reinforcements arrive. Now, in reality, if their army turned up and saw a Confederate force essentially kind of encamped in a fortified position upon a hill, well, they would just sit and wait and let their reinforcements arrive and then attack with overwhelming numbers. And in fact, in reality, what they would probably be more likely to do with their larger numbers is just besiege me and either force me to attack or starve me out. Albeit I have other reinforcements, so maybe they might feel the necessity to attack, but yeah. Taking advantage of a little bit of a game system here, where they have to attack us in a certain field. Now, I suppose they don't actually have to attack us, they could just sit and wait. It would be classed as a minor defeat, rightly or wrongly. Now, you guys are working together to build my fence. Excellent. Oh, and actually, I'm going to get another day's worth of engineering points here. It's nice to see. Be able to improve some of my earthworks. Good. Right, I need to move all you all back to the right place now. You guys are supposed to be over here. You can come stand here. You are part of this division, that's okay. So you must be in the wrong place, red. Indeed you are. Cool. And we just bed down for the night and see what the Federals bring in the morning, I suppose. Alright, I'll bring you back when we actually make contact. Okay, dawn has broken. As you see, overnight I spent my engineering points to upgrade these earthworks, and some of them even has little bushly things out front. And the Federals have very kindly decided that's the direction they're going for, which is nice of me. Nice of them, even. I've put my two 14-pounder units onto counter battery fire because we are outgunned here, so I would like to eliminate those when I can. And I've given this unit a bombardment order. Oh, you can reach there, even though it's not in your line of fire. Brilliant. Which should hopefully inflict some casualties as their units march through there. Let me kick the speed up a little bit. Though you're still shooting over here. There's your order now. I'm curious to see what you're going to do. Apart from reload. I've given you the counter barrier upgrade. Have I really? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to give one of my Jameses a counter battery and you the grand battery. I know what I'll do. I can change your gun over afterwards. Okay. I mean, you say you're bombarding, but are you? Kind of. I'm going to give you somewhere else to bombard. Well, to be honest, I should just put you on counter battery fire. So do you know what I will? You, who don't have anything yet. In fact, no, you who have a grand battery bloomin' focus. Yeah, hit that area. Napoleon's here. You guys, although you're now conducting all of the barrage now. Apologies for messing your orders. Now I'll put you on counter battery fire. Okay. Good, let's crank it up until they start closing. I should probably shuffle some of my units over if they're going to make a concerted attack on this flank. So they might come round to the south as well. So I'm going to grab... Who's it? Ransom Jr. here. And get some of your men to come over and be ready to reinforce the south side here. And then one who's going to help reinforce over here. It's a small-ish gap. Let's put some more men in it. We'll crank the speed up a little bit. Hopefully our counter battery fire is doing good work against these guns. Like I say, we are outnumbered, but they did have to maneuver into position, which does go into our advantage a little bit. And you know what, why don't we get you to bombard that location as well? Even if you're not necessarily considered a counter battery specialist. Come on, how long do orders take? You're standing right there. Thank you. No, I would like you to not do that. We need to... It's finicky. It's finicky for sure. Please bombard. I make sure I have to click ground, not unit. Use that area. Thank you. Good. Okay. So doing something around this flank. I don't know what one brigade on its own is really going to do. I'm not sure I'm particularly convinced about which way you wanted to walk, but okay. Please actually get in the cover. It's good cover, so the artillery should hopefully be not causing too many casualties. Oh, and they're not happy about life already. Excellent. Right, let's kick speed up. We'll open with an artillery duel. That's a lot of white puffs going on around here. Minor defeat. Apparently we have taken more casualties. Interesting. You gents are not actually in the trenches. Did you not like going around the corner? Okay. Fine, I suppose. Mildly irritating. When you just jump into here. Taking casualties for no real reason. Let's go up to 20 speed. I'm happy to start with a bit of an artillery duel. I wonder if I can get the smaller unit to come stand there. There we go. Okay, we've broken someone. Looks like they've ended trying to dispatch an infantry detachment to take up the guns that have been left behind. They are now under withering fire from our Jameses. As is this first battery. Excellent, so if we can silence their guns, that's a bit of a game changer, to be perfectly honest. Ah, you're up to level 2 in ground battery. You are ready. You're the one that's supposed to be close support. No, not close support. I'm an idiot. I meant to say laying fire. Oh, this is what happens when you play games when you're tired. That's a terrible skill to have given you. I do apologise, Cubor. I have rendered your unit much more weak than it should be. So we may consider tweaking what weapons you have available to you. Okay. You haven't quite seen off all the artillery, but you're doing a good job. Looks like the rest of their army is getting into position. We're still bombarding this area as well, which I'm quite happy with. Oh. Looks like they're finally coming in for a bit of an attack, which I suspect is not going to go well for them. Let's actually just put you in the line. Okay. Right, I'm going to change this up slightly. I'm going to bring your bombardment forward. And I might even change what you're doing as well, because I think it's important to get some more bombardment on the go, probably around about here. Same for you. No. Too close. Which is frustrating, because for some reason I need to get someone needs to go and tell him not to do the order I didn't actually give him. That's the way it goes sometimes. Are they pushing down here as well? Kind of. There we go. Slightly further back so we're not hitting our own men. I'm going to turn your initiative down if I can remember where it is. Commander, initiative off. Because I don't want you leaving your trenches. As I said before at the start, this is all about force preservation. So it's just about breaking them as quick as we can. Yes, casualties are going to be nice. But I don't want to risk my own forces because I'm going to need them for another battle almost straight away. At least we've silenced all of their guns. I'm going to get Hardy here to go single line. And then, actually probably can't do them both. I'm going to come into here because if nothing else, by threatening their flanks they're going to get a morale debuff. So even if we're not close enough to actually engage, it's going to negatively affect morale and might make them break a little bit sooner. Well, that's a very experienced brigade. I would like to destroy that one. These guys are not experienced and are bleeding heavily. The casualty rates are not crazy. Again, let's make sure you are... Yeah, you're turning. Let's turn your initiative off. Let's get you in line. Please and thank you. Come, threaten their flanks. I did upgrade one of the units. Is it the one with the carbines? Yeah, Stormers to fight in loose order, which is something I should use more often, which I haven't really used before. So you, once you have dismounted them, you can get them to fight essentially as a massive group of skirmishers, which is useful because they've got this obviously the longer range carbines, which is then good for that role because they're about 300 odd yards, 375 yards, so not quite as good as obviously the rifles the infantry have, but it's not bad and a lot better than the likes of the Burnsides, which are only a couple hundred. They're the ones you really want to kind of get in close. Looks like the victory's come along nicely. Yeah, they've just thrown themselves at our big red wall and are bleeding out massively. Oh, Wickham's actually suffering a little bit. You've lost a surprisingly large amount of men. I would quite like to pull you out of the fighting, but at the same time, I don't think I can in any kind of meaningful way. Because you'll just get shot more as you come out of your trenches. So you might just have to grin and bear this one, I'm afraid. But all going well, the men should break soon. So these guys, let's get them dismounted. We will put them into loose formation. This one. You can see they just form a massive skirmish line. I'm going to get you to shift your troops over this way. I know you guys aren't happy, so actually let's not shift you, let's shift these ones. Those Enfields did do a lot of work in the last engagement, as did you guys. You didn't though. You can come up as well. Give the troops a bit of support. And this has not been a particularly good example of the AI fighting smart. Oh, we have lost that position there. So let's shuffle up EU. which is frustrating because that's obviously one less division which we'll have for the next engagement. But if we can fight that one in a similar style, we're going to be okay. The key here was always just about not taking many losses, because our army really needs to recover a little bit more. Right, these guys are just walking through all sorts of trouble. Right, they've put out a few more detachments now, so I'm going to... You're already leveled up to level 3. That's crazy. I'm going to switch you back to counter battery. And for a little bit, I think I might do the same for you. Let's just make sure these detachments get seen off. I may get someone to come and help and deal with the 1st Brigade here. Although they have only 10 casualties, so they might have a lot of fight left in them. That being said, we're almost over. We're almost there. They're almost about to break and run. Another 2 to 1. Again, only 2 to 1. Right. Let's try and press a little bit and finish this. Yeah, they're very experienced units. Are unfortunately going to get away with not huge amounts of casualties. Actually, you've lost half. You've lost a chunk. Okay, so I take that back. Oh, they're actually trying to pull out now. So presumably you're going to run, because I don't know what else you have left. Which means it's time for skirmishers. Go get my cannons, boys. If you can. We'll, oh, there we go, and they're retreating. Yeah, no problem. Let's put you just on counter battery. Just don't have to micro you. I'm probably not going to be too aggressive in my pursuit here. I'll go after the cannons with my skirmishers, but that's about it. Keep you guys close just in case I need anything. I don't think I will. I mean, you can shoot those guys if you want. I think they're just going to keep falling back through you. Handful of free kills, I'll take them. Yeah, no, just pull them back. That's fine. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. A fairly uneventful but reasonable victory. I think it's more interesting to watch the ones where you actually have to attack, because they can be challenging. So they've got another 4,300 dead Federals, but we did lose 1,700 of our own. I'll take that. Okay, so there we have it. Another sterling victory for the boys of Tennessee. So that's what? Ohio, Mississippi, Cumberland, and then we're going to fight Cincinnati. So you've already fought like 90,000 Federals, and you're about to fight another 20,000. You're doing very well. You're punching above your weight here. What I wouldn't give for my armies to be a little bit more ready. On the plus side, these guys are going to be out of action for a while, which should hopefully, once Tennessee goes down, give us a bit of time for a little bit of R&R. Ah yes, Union invasions we know about, unfortunately. Okay, so you're actually engaged against the fort, which is not going to hold for very long. So we're going to have to come and reinforce it. Of course, you're in the middle of a battle right now. Yeah, because there's no one really here yet. Come on, man, move, please. this fort surrenders before you move, I'll be very, very upset. And then what the plan is, I will probably draw the episode to close here. Again, I think I'm going to fight this one off camera unless it happens to look particularly interesting when I start it, because otherwise it's going to be very similar. Come on. There, you're now officially in the siege as well. Excellent. There is only 20,000 of them. There is apparently none of us. That doesn't make sense. You just confused as to what's going on? Yeah, because army tendency is right. Just a little bug there. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to fight this one. All going well. I think it should be hopefully a straightforward victory. Do you have any troops in your fort yet? Don't think so. So yeah, we need to save the fort. But then these guys are going to have to be resting and recuperating. So they're not going to give us a chance to advance. Which means we have a choice actually, because very shortly the Florida State Militia will be ready. Obviously they were originally going to be tasked with clearing out the army of here, but they've gone north. And assuming the Army of Tennessee wins, then we might just pull the Army of Tennessee back to Louisville for some R&R by the supply depot and the hospital, and get Florida State Militia to have kind of take 2 at St. Louis. Because I don't think there's much in the way of Union forces in St. Louis, and that wouldn't that be a nice little victory for us. 22nd May, so still another 8 days before we're talking about sending out our Charleston squadron here. Let's have a quick squiz at you before we call things done. Yeah, you're still, a few of you need a little bit more R&R. You are in port, yes? Go to port. These guys, I'm tempted to throw them up north and see what happens. Probably nothing good. And I'm probably just going to lose a bunch of ships, but it might be interesting to see. So we could throw them up here and like blockade. Go for it. I suspect we're just going to anger the Union and we're going to send out a large fleet to attack you, but it'll be a learning experience. Okay, let's call things to a close there then. So hopefully next time we'll have done that and we can come back and look at some of the more strategic stuff. Taking on the blockade, taking St. Louis. And then our next plan, which will probably be to keep these federal armies separate, because they would be frightening if they all got together. But we will worry about that next time. So I'll catch you then. Cheerio.